Now I would like to say Jimbipsu to you all and tell you all something about the Angkor Wat because it's a grand temple in Cambodia and it's built by a famous king, Suriyavarman II, and he became a king when he was 14. And it is cool that the 14-year-old boy can build very large building and it's bigger than other ruins around the world. So it is the largest religious monument and it covers around 200 hectares in the area and it is a grand building like a mega structure. I would like to tell you about this king because he's great and he born in the present day Thailand, but it was a part of Cambodia. Then he came to Angkor and he stayed in Angkor. Then he killed king. Well, after that he crowned himself and he called himself Suriyavarman II and he tried to rule the country very hard. And this is an amazing story about the 14-year-old boy. When you all get into Angkor Wat, from the main entrance, then you see the moat in the causeway, and the moat is about 200 meters round, and it's 4 meters deep. And this is a great moat, and they use the water from the moat to support the temple foundation because foundation made of sand. It's about 600 meters by 1,500 meters, and 6 meters thick. Yeah, that's amazing. And they brought all the sands from Tonle Sap by the ocean carts. You know, if you want to carry 1 cubic meter of sand, you need at least 2 oxen carts or water buffalo carts. So sand's very heavy when they absorb a lot of water. And after that, they dug a big lake and they filled the sand in. Then they brought the same dirt to put on the sand and stone. Yes, stones, they all brought them from Phnom Penh area, and it's about 62 kilometers long and it's far away. If you use elephant, it takes more than 2 days. It's about 2.5 days. And if you use oxen cart and water buffalo cart, it takes a lot of time. So you waste so much time to bring all this stone, and you have to use them in a week because more than a week the stone can lose the water, so it's very hard to carve. That's why my Cambodian ancestors try to use them in a week. So it's impressive. Like it's a very interesting story about all this stone. And when you get inside the temple, you see the holes on each stone or on every stone. That means they used to put the wood in the hole in order to carry them, to lift them. And about the towers, like they're very, very high, so they use a bridge to move all stone to the very top because it's impossible to use the crane because or we can say a winch. You know, it's very, very hard. That's why I believe that they use the bridge to move them, and they put the pulley on the very top and pull by the elephant. The problem we have, some stone out there, for example, the column, it can be around 1,000 kilograms. So like 1,000 kilograms or more than 1,000 kilograms, that's very heavy. And the biggest elephant in Cambodia, like male elephant, they can be around 2.5 tons, and most elephant very small because they female elephants. Yeah, and they use so many elephants to build the temple. You know how many? It's about 6,000 elephants, and they use 1,000 carts and 1,000 water buffaloes, and it's crazy. Like it's too much work. And they took so many workers. For example, Angkor Wat is the largest or mega structure, so they needed about 300,000 to build the temple, and they divided them to be 3 different groups. Group A, they were farmers. Group B, they were fishermen, and Group C, they were workers. So they built the temple. Yeah, they all built the temple, and they gave services to the king. And king, he was an emperor, he was a god, and this king, he got title from China. They call him Gombrong Teng in Khmer language, but in English means King of Universe, and he's very powerful. When he became a king, he also tried to take care of Cambodia so well, and he told Davakara Pandita to build a largest temple for him to show the people about his power. And later, Davakara Pandita decided to build Angkor Wat in that area, and he believed that that's a victory place or or Jejapum in Khmer language. Then they moved the people away. So before they built the temple, the people used to live there already. Then they moved people away because this is the land of God. People had no idea about this, and then he built a temple in that place, and it's very close to Angkor Thom. It's easy for the king to come to pray, and that's why they built Angkor Wat right there. And when you walk around the temple, you see the galleries and a lot of carvings, and it's very, very interesting because carvings depict something about the Indian story. In Angkor Wat, only one gallery, it depicts something about the king background and the king meeting, and you see a lot of things about the workers in his government. For example, queen and a lot of wives. Like, we believe that the king had 5 wives and 4,000 concubines. They recorded on the Chinese document. That's why it's very important for us to, to learn something about all this king. And this king is amazing. And when he became a king, he also developed the country. For example, by then we had connection with the Westerners, Chinese and Indians in other countries too, and because we got a lot of clothes from Western nation, so they came to my country because they love Cambodia. For Chinese, they call my country Phu Non. Phu means rich, Non means south, like rich country in the south of China. And for the Westerners, they call my country Cambodia, but we call our country Cambodia or Khmer. They are Cambodian names or the name for a whole country, but sometimes they also call Cambodia is Suvarnabhumi, like the Suvarnabhumi airport in Thailand. And we believe that this word emerged on the written inscription in Kampong Speu province, and they translated into Khmer, English, and French right now. And this name is very popular. Savan means gold, Pu means a village, like golden village or golden country. Yeah, it's meaningful, and that's why Thailand and Cambodia try to proclaim like it's called, like the country is called Suvarnabhumi. It's very interesting. So when you walk around the gallery, you see very long galleries. It's about 800 meters long, and it has the longest bas-relief in the world. So Angkor Wat is amazing. And if you get inside the gallery, then you look at the carving, you see shiny carving. That means they use their hand to polish all these carving. That's why it's very, very shiny, and it's amazing. Because on your hands you have oil. When you touch the carving, the oil can make carving very shiny. And a lot of written description about Angkor Wat and about the trip of the monks up to Angkorian times. So Angkorian time, we think it starts from 790 and finish in 1431, and after that we call post-Angkorian time. So a lot of monks, they came here to pray to the Buddha, and they built some statue of gold, statue of stone and wood. That's why when French came to Cambodia, they saw so many statues, and in one place it's called 1000 Buddha Terrace. It had so many statues, but they brought them to Phnom Penh National Museum, and some were stolen. That's why now we have some statue right there. It's not full. And for Chidakwan, he believed that the temple was gilded in gold, and it's beautiful because he was not allowed to go inside, and he called that temple a golden temple, like not so far from the south gate of Angkor Thom. He saw the golden temple. It's very interesting. Today you see some gold, and that's why we believe that they used gold to gild the temple back then, and it's very interesting. That's why Chinese guy believed that the temple was made of gold, and he saw a lot more golden temples. And for Angkor Wat, he believed that inside they put a golden statue, but today we do not have any golden statue because they were stolen. I'm not quite sure, maybe they used them to make the jewelry. That's why we cannot see. When you all learn something about Angkor Wat background, you say like Angkor Wat, it's a temple for Lord Vishnu. So Angkor Wat can be called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the name of the Vishnu heaven, so he lived there. and it's the name of the Sayana on Anantanaga. Normally, when you explore the Shiva carving or you see the Shiva carving, you see him on Anantanaga. Not a lot of standing statue or standing carving, but in Cambodia it's very popular that they call the Vishnu god on a pedestal and standing statue, freestanding statue, and they all look very cool. But normally Vishnu god he lives on Vaikuntha, like it's his heaven, and heaven is on a cosmic sea or milk sea, and it's a place where they call turning of the sea of milk, or they did turning of the sea of milk in Hindu story. Like it's a mythical story. It's a very interesting. I would love to say when you climb to the very top of Angkor Wat, you see beautiful landscape around Angkor, trees and a lot of beautiful views, and it's amazing, and you capture some pictures that's very cool. And when you get to the very top, walk around the 60 by 60 meter terrace, then you see the Buddhas, and on the wall of the central tower you see four freestanding statue of Buddha, and one hand up, that means Payamutta, like he forgave all the people around him, like they practice something good or bad, no problem for the Buddha, because in his heart he has four words in him like charity, compassion, equity and sympathy. So he's very good man. That's why he's very famous around the world. And Buddha is amazing, but all these Buddha they made him in 16th century. Some people believe that King Siddhartha first he did, but maybe King Angjan too. We're not quite sure about that because no writing to tell us. But a lot of writings tell us about the statue, but not statue on the central tower wall. Well, in the old day, they installed the statue of Vishnu God under the time of the boy king or the child king, and we're not quite sure how many, but like one for one statue back then. Some scholars, when they researched in 2002, they believe that in the old day after the king died, they put his body inside the central tower for 15 days. Then they cremated his body. And then they try to stop Angkor Wat, try to stop the helicopter in the air to see Angkor Wat from the air. They believe that Angkor Wat was designed from two words. We call them linga and yoni, like male and female organs. And it's very interesting that male and female organ created the universe. It's from Shiva Purana book. It's very interesting. And if you walk around the top, you see a lot of things, and you understand like the grandeur of Cambodia. And when you stand in the west part of the top, you look down, you see the causeway, that the king causeway, and then you see the causeway along very long, and along the causeway and the west there two buildings, we call them libraries, and they built 6 libraries in Angkor Wat. That's why we can say Angkor Wat was built for 4 purposes, like just for pray, just for education because they studied there and they made library there, just for meeting they made the terrace and the places that people could listen to all the king's lectures. And number 4 is about the style, like Angkor Wat is the main style, and it's very popular and very famous around the world. You know, in 17th century and 16th century, 17th century, Japanese team came here, and they came from Kumamoto province from Japan, and they worshipped to the Buddha, and they donated Buddha statue to Angkor Wat. Today we cannot see them all, and I can say it's wonderful. Angkor Wat became very popular in maybe 14th, 15th, and 15th century. And today it's very famous because a lot of people they say like it's a destination, like tour destination, and they would like to come here because of the ruins in because of the history of Cambodia. We can say Cambodia used to be famous like Inca culture and Rome and Greeks in China, something like that. And thank you very much for watching all this video and listening to all my speech. Thank you and enjoy your time. Bye bye. This is Han Angkor Guy, and you can Google me. Thank you very much.
អំពាក់យ៉ាងពិស្ដារបំផុតប៉ុន្តែទ្រង់មិនបានគ្របនៅដន្ទើសម្ពុតគ្របនៅលើខ្លួនផ្នែកខាងលើទេគឺមានតែខាងក្រោមបានន័យថាចេញខ្លួនតេនៅខាងលើបាទហើយស្រីស្នំក្រោមការផ្សេងទៀតក៏ដូចគ្នាបាទសូមអញ្ជើញមើលទៅចឹងហើយបានយើងចាត់ទុកថានារីទាំងអស់នេះអាចជានារីដែលគេហៅថាអប្សរានឹងឯងសម្រាប់ខ្ញុំឲ្យតម្លៃថាពួកគាត់គឺជាម្ចាស់ស្ត្រីពួកគាត់គឺជាអ្នកបម្រើសំខាន់របស់ស្ដេចដែលទ្រង់ចង់រក្សាឈ្មោះទុកនៅក្នុងអង្គរវត្តយើងបាទ